I did not think there was any way that I was not starting with the Tony Allen jersey retirement ceremony today, because it was a fantastic night at FedEx Forum on Saturday. But then the Memphis Tigers went ahead and shocked the world by getting a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. So we're going to start there and work our way backwards. The Tigers are a 5 seed. While everybody was busy catastrophizing that they were doomed, and appropriately catastrophizing, because all of the bracket bigwigs were putting them somewhere between, at best case, a 6, but more likely an 8, and people would have been thrilled with a 7, and they would have been overjoyed with a 6. But by the time we get to the bracket reveal on Selection Sunday, it's like, oh great, we're down to the West region. Not only are they going to be an 8-9, it's going to be an 8-9 in Florida's region, and no team has more juice to it than the Florida Gators coming out of the SEC tournament win on Sunday. And I had literally just texted my mom. Like, before you see Memphis pop up into that 5 spot, I had just texted my mother, and I said, oh, damn, like, there's no way we get Memphis, because there's no way they're a 5 or a 4 seed. And I said that because 2 weeks ago, I booked myself a little plane ticket. I was going to just go for funsies to Seattle, Washington, to go visit my mom, who was able to get tickets to the first round from my dad. And she was like, do you want to come with me? And I said, I would love to go with you. So I'm already booked and ready to go to Seattle on Thursday for Friday's games. And the first and second rounds are Friday, Sunday in Seattle. And Memphis pops up with that 5 seed. And I'm like, what are the odds? And I was surprised. The Tigers seemed surprised, very enthusiastic, got the phones out, had the live reaction, which was awesome. Penny Hardaway, grateful for the respect from the committee. But I didn't think there was any way possible that Memphis was going to be sent to Seattle. And now that is where we are at. They will play Colorado State. They open as underdogs to Colorado State in the 5-12 game. That's fine. That's exactly where they like to be. But I thought it was a win for Memphis, a take that for bracketology. And ultimately, Penny Hardaway and this team gets rewarded for the work they put into the non-conference schedule, which everybody was always talking, God, it's a shame that Memphis is going to have a 6, 7, 8 seed when they're able to put together the resume they did in non-conference play, when they get those wins over Michigan State and Clemson, and even the wins over UConn. Overall, they go 5-2 against other NCAA tournament teams. So there's the respect for the non-conference schedule. There's the respect for winning the AAC regular season title, Memphis's first regular season title since 2013. It might be a down league, but there's got to be one top dog in the down league. And they only lost 2 games during the AAC conference play. And both of those coming on the road. They took care of business at home. And then what do? They go into that AAC tournament. They overcome some egregious officiating in a couple of those games. PJ Haggerty has the monster game against Wichita State. They survive Tulane and the dramatics of Ron Hunter and missing 15 free throws, and Dane Danger was awesome. And then they lose Tyrese Hunter. They are not able to play. Dante Exum is out. So who's going to play point guard for them? Okogie, who hadn't played, I think, a single minute when Memphis played UAB the last time around. And he was awesome. The Tigers were awesome. Dane Danger wins another battle with Yaxel. Memphis goes 3-0 against UAB this season. They win the championship, and they're rewarded with a 5 seed. Shout out to Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers. Give them their flowers. This is all you could hope for and more going into a tournament. Obviously, there is still work to be done, but these scenes were spectacular over the weekend. And I think I just called Dante Harris Dante Exum, but whatever. Dante.
I was like, wait.
His Inferno.
Wait, is there an Exum
No,
on
it's
this
not
team?
Dante Exum. It's Dante Harris.
Oh.
That picture of Penny, though, Penny and the trophy, that's cold.
Yeah, congratulations to the Tigers. Seriously, this is, you go out there, you schedule hard in the out of conference, which is so very, very important, because you know once you get into conference play, there's no way that you are going to be able to build up your resume. There are only bad losses that you can take. There are no quality wins in this conference unless you're somebody who's playing against the Memphis Tigers. You can count Memphis as a quality win. And the Tigers went out there, Coach Penny Hardaway, scheduled tough in the out of conference, and the players performed. The players performed. The players met the moment. They met the moment in Maui. They met the moment against Clemson and Mississippi State. Did they falter some? Absolutely they did. But nobody was wanting them to be perfect. At least I wasn't wanting them to be perfect. You have the loss to Arkansas State. You have the loss to Wichita State. You have the loss to whichever one of these, to Temple, right? Like, that's fine. Just don't completely fall apart. And that's something that they managed to avoid doing. They continuously won games and put themselves in a position to where when it came down to Selection Sunday, the committee said, all right, let's look at the whole body of work. And it's only 3 just bad losses. But you look at them and say, okay, it's 3 of those. They got like 6 or 7 really good wins. And they're the regular season champs of this conference. And they're the tournament champs of this conference. We've got to be able to reward that in some sort of a way. So again, shout out to Coach Penny Hardaway, the best coaching job he's done since he's gotten here, with some players, most of the production on this team right now weren't here last year. Yeah. And not only were they not here, they weren't with one another. This thing had to gel quickly. This thing had to mesh immediately so they could hit the ground running as soon as the season started. And it did. Haggerty is a second-team All-American, correct? Mm-hmm. Like, there's special talent on this roster, and Coach Penny Hardaway found a way to maximize that talent and to get them into the big dance. Now, for me, it's all right, Sweet 16 now. Like, that's the next step. Penny Hardaway has gotten to the round of 32. He's been a conference tournament champion. He's gotten this is his first regular season title, so that's something to hang your hat on this season. But when are the Tigers going to get to the Sweet 16? I don't want to take away anything from the moment of jubilation that is Memphis into the field, and not only into the field, but into the field as a 5 seed. Mm-hmm. But what's the point of getting the 5 if you can't
take advantage?
Take advantage. Like, here we go. This is it right now. Meet this moment. You've met all the other moments up to this point. Now it's time to meet another moment. Meet this moment.
The point of being the 5 is that if you win your first game, you don't have to play Florida. You are not UConn, Oklahoma, facing off for the opportunity to, no offense to Norfolk State, play the Florida Gators. You get to play either Maryland or Grand Canyon, and maybe those Lopes go out and upset the Terps. Ooh, Lopes Terps. That's a good mascot. That's a good mascot challenge as people are filling out their brackets. That's a fun one. I had a friend last night send me a sorry text as she picked Grand Canyon over Memphis because she thought it would just be funny. I love people who fill out brackets just to be funny, but it's not funny for Memphis. It's a very important reality that they were rewarded with this 5 seed, and metrically, screw the metrics, screw Lunardi, screw all the bracketology that goes into it. He's still the face of bracketology. I didn't mean to, be extra mean to Joe Lunardi, but that is one of the reasons we were sitting in a position of expecting the worst of Memphis and their potential bracket side. What is Jacob saying? You just put the microphone by his box.
I'm trying to catch him going off here. I don't know if you guys can hear it bleeding through the mic. He's calling them all nerds. He's saying shove them in the locker. He said in the chat.
Number nerds.
Other Jacob in the chat just said the committee making Memphis the 5 seed is the equivalent of the committee shoving all of the college basketball nerds in the locker, saying shut up.
We're moving past numbers and back to vibes. I love that. That's what I love to see. But it is true.
Until your team has the numbers but doesn't have the vibe, right?
Right.
And then we need the numbers. That's the beautiful thing about this time of the year. It's either or. It's never also and it's all dependent on what my team is. Is my team North Carolina? Because absolutely North Carolina deserves to be in. Complete and total vibes. If my team is North Carolina, is my team West
Virginia? North Carolina just committed a heinous act of terrorism.
The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hart, live every weekday at 8 a.m.